lost for the year in Week 4 last season. Here's Javonte Williams.
Chris Jones that time coming in with a tackle behind the line.
Oftentimes when you see a running back get bunched up in the backfield, it's usually because the defensive tackle is eating up blockers for others to make the play. Not in this case.
So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. Again, it's Williams. And he gets this up just shy of the 30 to the 29 before he's out of bounds. So they get half of what they needed. It'll be 3rd and 6 upcoming.
On a 2nd and long, it's really nice to see an offense that has enough confidence to run the football in that situation. I think that goes back to their practice and game planning. They've seen things that they've seen on tape and in previous games that led them to believe that even in a long-distance situation, they can still run the football and gain enough yardage to put themselves in a good spot on 3rd down.
Eluding the pressure right. And he's taken down, trying to do a little too much, getting outside of the pocket, and that results in a sack. On 4th down, it's Riley Dixon on now to kick it away for Denver. Waiting on it will be Richie James. This is fielded at the 27. 43-yard punt, but they get 9 back on the return. And it's Chiefs football, 1st and 10. The Chiefs offense about set to begin this drive. Now, they were intercepted the first time they had the football, but now they get it back, and it's still 0-0.
And because of that, you know what the thought process is? Interception. What interception? It didn't really happen because they gave up no points. So go back on the attack. Go back and run the offense you believe will be successful. Find your playmakers and give them the football.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10.
Running left to give to Pacheco. Down the left sideline.
And he's taken down, but not before he gets to the Broncos' 23-yard line. 44 yards rushing for him now, his first 2 carries in the ballgame. The ultimate speedster, showing that speed in front of this home crowd. They loved it.
Made me stand up on that run because right now all I want to do is wave to the crowd. More noise, more noise. You got to reward him for that one. A big-time monster run.
Mahomes' throw taken in by Valdez-Scantling.
So the completion good for 6 yards, and it'll be 2nd down.
And I think this is a route we'll see more of as this game goes on, because with his speed, they want to get him the ball in space on drag routes just like this. They want him to get the ball and run after the catch. Good job there, though, holding him for a short gain.
2nd down and 4.
They fake the give. Now Mahomes. To the right side, it's Kelsey. And this won't be enough to pick up the first. A gain of 2, 3rd and 1.
Well, they're unable to convert that into much, but it's never a bad idea to try to get the ball into a tight end of his caliber's hands and see what kind of disruption he can cause.
Mahomes to throw on 3rd and 1. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And in for the Chiefs touchdown. Travis Kelsey, his 3rd touchdown now on the year.
And the Chiefs put the night's first points on the board as they take the early lead. Extra point by Butker is on target.
And it's now a 7-0 game. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes.
This fielded right at the goal line. And in hindsight, probably should have taken a knee as he only gets this out to the 16-yard line.
At their own 16-yard line.
Denver offense at the line, ready to go. They come off a victory over the weekend, but now the quick turnaround here for this Thursday night game. How does that affect how teams like this approach these short turnarounds?
Well, wins and losses always factor into, how you're getting ready for the next game. But equally as important when you have the short turnaround, what is your injury situation? Are you losing key guys? And if so, how well have the backups prepared for this? Because you don't have much time to get them ready. They have to be ready before this week in order to play well in this game.
On second down, Williams. They'll rumble for about 6 up across the 20 to the 22.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
Here is third down and 4.
Here's Wilson. A pass for Sutton is intercepted. Picked off by Justin Reed. And this return is going to be halted right around the 28-yard line.
Certainly not his best throw that time, and not a good time to make it, Charles, when they were a nickel with 5 defensive backs on the field.
And that's exactly why you have those 5 DBs out there. You want extra speed on the field, guys who have ball skills and understand what the passing game can do, and gives them a chance to react and make a play on the football, and they take one of those away.
So after the INT, here's Mahomes. And his throw here's incomplete.
We know it's not an easy job to go out and catch passes when people are trying to tackle you and knock the ball away. But the bottom line is, that's a pass he's got to have and a pass he should have caught.
Now a 2nd and 10.
Now Mahomes.
Oh, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted.
Picked off by Justin Simmons.
And the Broncos are going to have the football here at their own 18-yard line. And not the first quarter that he was hoping for. Now 2 interceptions thrown.
Well, the good ones, they find a way to compartmentalize, right? Put these behind them, have that short memory, but understand why they threw the 2 interceptions. They go on and usually play a pretty decent game. Other quarterbacks, they have a hard time getting past it and often put the ball up for grabs the rest of the ball game.
The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. 3-2, their record through the first 5 games of the year as they got the victory last week. It's still early, just October, but what have you seen from these guys so far?
Well, what I've seen is a team that's still figuring out all their pieces, because they've got some new faces from a year ago, add in some new draft picks. Sometimes it takes a month or so before you really start to gel as a team, and for those players to figure out their roles. But right now, I see them starting to elevate.
Second and 6. In motion goes Patrick.
Now Wilson on second down. Man open left side, it's Williams. And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39.
17 yards on the catch and run. It's a first down.
And the Broncos first down.
After 1, 7-0 on EA Sports. Broncos football as we begin quarter number 2. As they've got it with a 1st and 10.
From the gun, it's a run for Williams. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. Another nice gain. That's now 30 yards between those last 2 plays.
Anytime you hear the term an explosive run, most teams I know define that as any run over 10 yards, and they got that and more. How about a lot of credit for the big guys up front? That offensive line firing out, creating plenty of space, and a big run ensued.
They stick to the ground game on first down. It's Williams.
And just no chance of turning the corner. He can only get back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 coming up.
No gain on the play. 2nd and 10 at the 48-yard line.
They go play action now. Wilson. Man open. He's got it complete to Cortland Sutton. And he'll be brought down with a first down as the tackle's made at the Chiefs' 31-yard line. They give him 17 yards that time as that'll move the chains. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. From the gun, it's Wilson. Oh, and his early struggles continue. Here's another one intercepted. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. An excellent play there, CD, on the pick six. And I think were they a nickel? Did they have an extra DB out there?
Yeah, Brandon, I think they went standard nickel, not the Buffalo, as teams like to call it, meaning 3 safeties for big nickel. They just wanted to take away the quarterback's throwing lanes, and that's exactly what they did, and came through with a big-time pick six.
Extra point by Butker is on target, and it's now 14-0. So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. And we'll see a return here from the end zone. And the decision to bring it out, not a good one, as he's tackled at the 15. Denver offense at the line, ready to go. They're sort of seeing themselves spiral out of control. Let's see if they can get things back on track.
And this is where the coach is walking that line of being calm and really being firm with his team. I had one tell me once, when we were having a tough patch, this too shall pass, this too shall pass, and finally we kept having a rough patch. He said, but you got to do something to make it pass, and that's what they have to do. They've got to get some control back, get themselves reasserted, and calm things down.
See if they can get calm and reassert themselves here. And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete.
Well, this is a half where not just the coverage, but the entire defense is setting the tone in this game.
Ball on the 30 as they come up 2nd and 10. Now it's Wilson. That is incomplete.
That was not a real confident throw right there, and he's just 2 of 7 to start the game. Now he's going to have to find a groove with a big 3rd down coming up. Let's see if his confidence can increase.
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Now Wilson. And the Chiefs are going to get him. Multiple defenders getting home there for a loss of 11. Now the Broncos are going to call the first of their timeouts. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this 2nd quarter. Riley Dixon now to punt it away. His first punt, 45 yards. This looks good as well. James now to return it. It'll be a net of 40 yards there following a 43-yard punt, 3-yard return, and they will take over 1st and 10. The KC offense out of the huddle, ready for their next drive. They're riding a 2-game winning streak into this Thursday nighter. How easy is it when you're on a roll to stay on a roll given the quick turnaround?
Well, you would think it'd be pretty easy because everyone's locked in practice and meetings because everyone feels good about themselves. And for coaches, this is where they have to tell themselves, don't add too much. Don't worry about game plans as much as players. So look at your play sheet and think, give it to the guys who play best, and don't worry about the rest of it.
And this one is incomplete.
This defense has passed its first 2 tests by forcing back-to-back incompletions. They know there's probably another throw coming on 3rd down. Let's see if they decide to force the issue by sending people on a blitz.
They had the incomplete pass on 2nd down. Now they need a big play here, 3rd and 10. A man who re-signed with the Chiefs back in May. Here's Jerick McKinnon. And he will be very close to a 1st down, but I see the closed fist of the referee, and that means 4th down.
From this vantage point, they've got the lead here, so for me, that'd be enough to go ahead and punt the football and let my defense defend the long field.
If you go for it, you don't get it, then you really put your defense in a tight spot.
Yeah, but we never know what people ultimately will decide to do here on 4th and inches.
So in their own territory, but they only need a few inches, so they're going to opt to go for this thing. We'll see. Maybe a surprise pass or run. What will they do? We're about to find out. 4th down.
Hey, 57, 57. Hey, 57, 57 color. Hey, Sunday, on Sunday. Hey, rip.
They'll go for it. It's Mahomes. And for a 3rd time tonight, he's intercepted. Picked off by Justin Simmons. And the return stops at the 39-yard line.
They'll take over 1st and 10 at the 39-yard line.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Now Williams running left. And they're going to stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Just no cutback lane to be found whatsoever. 2nd and 10. There on the stop was Leo Chanel.
2nd and 10 at the Chiefs' 39-yard line.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again 2nd and 10. Now it's Wilson. Can't get away, and he's taken down. So they will take the sack instead of the penalty.
And it takes another down off the series. But the biggest one of all, do you want to tell the guy who just got the sack that it no longer counts?
No.
No, not at all.
It's 3rd and long now for Wilson and the Broncos after that sack. Looking to throw. Wilson. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
They certainly had good starting field position on that drive, but couldn't do anything with it after 3 plays. Have to admit that that's a disappointing end to excellent field position. When that drive started, they had 6 points that they were thinking about.
Dixon, the punter, is on as he sends it away. Here's James returning. 33 yards is the distance on the punt there. And the Chiefs are going to take over with a long field ahead and a 1st and 10. The Chiefs offense about set to begin this drive. It's been a good first half so far. They're up 14-0. Points here, that could really put them in command before intermission.
Yeah, and it's all well and good what they're seeing and how they're feeling right now. But it's the NFL. How many times have we watched 14-0 leads evaporate and quickly? So how have we seen them combat it? Continue to run your offense but don't back off at all. Don't start looking at the clock. Don't start thinking about, hey, just take care of the football. Keep attacking. Usually the best way to maintain control.
2nd and 7.
15. Yellow.
Looking to throw is Mahomes. In trouble here, and down he goes. Back at the 8-yard line. Now the Broncos going to use the second of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. After the sack, things get a little tougher here. 3rd and long for Mahomes and the Chiefs. In motion, the tight end, Kelsey. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Open man, it's the tight end, Kelsey. They wind up getting 16, but even that's not quite enough. It's 4th down.
There's another example what defensive coaches constantly preach, not allowing any run after the catch. They give up a few more yards than they wanted to, but they were able to get him down quickly and force a 4th down.
And how about this one now? In their own territory, a gutsy call. They're going to go for this on 4th and a yard. They'll run for it with Pacheco. And he lost the football. And this ball recovered by the offense. But remember, they cannot advance it here in the final 2 minutes of the half. So this will be blown dead, and it'll come back to the spot of the fumble. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. They'll bring a tight end in motion left. They go play action. Now Mahomes. Throwing the out route here, and it's complete to Kelsey. And this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on 1st down. A run by Pacheco on 2nd down. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. Now another timeout called for by the offense as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play.
1st and 10 at the 36-yard line.
Play action. Now it's Mahomes. And for the 4th time tonight, it's an interception. And the Broncos will take over possession here up at the 44. So that changes things. You get the interception, and then to boot, a good return tacked on.
And really, it was down to him versus the quarterback on the return, and that's one you would think the defender would win. But a nice job there of seeing the play all the way to the end and making the tackle by the QB.
The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. And with decent starting field. And Wilson's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off by L'Jarius Sneed. An unfortunate sequence there, trying to get points before intermission, but now the interception, and their opponents have a chance to possibly pound their lead.
Yeah, they had an opportunity there, and they weren't able to capitalize on it. And that's something that could come back and haunt them later. They're begging their defense now to keep them from scoring before the half ends.
Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. This will be caught inside the 10. That will signal in the timeout call as it comes with 9 seconds to go in this first half of play. Right after the turnover, they come out throwing.
And that means it's a sudden change situation. We used to practice it on defense. Sudden change, get out there, stop the offense. But you typically run out there a little bit unsettled. I think that's why he came right out throwing the football, hoping to catch him off balance.
And he did. Here's first and goal, and gosh, points here, a chance maybe to put this thing away before halftime.
Hey, Ripley, Ripley.
Throwing now is Mahomes. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete.
That was a touchdown if he could have hung on. Instead, it was a well-timed collision to jar that one free.
Now with 5 seconds left, not really enough time to run another play and then stop it. So on comes the field goal unit. Butker's kick here is good, and that will extend their lead even further. So they get the turnover in plus territory. The drive stalls out, but still able to get 3 out of that.
Yeah, we were able to see an offense and a defense kind of mix and match with each other, didn't we? Both of them trying to make sure that they have the upper hand and the advantage. Offense trying to get to the end zone. Defense, of course, trying to hold them to a field goal attempt. And it wasn't a guaranteed lock 3 from where they started. So, you know, the offense has to be happy to come away with those 3 points.
So we've hit intermission. It's halftime. This is the NFL, and it's a presentation of EA Sports. Welcome back. Charles and I settled into the booth, ready for quarter number 3. A very one-sided first half. 17-0 our score as we get going in quarter number 3. And here comes a return from a few steps into the end zone. And no chance to get away as they'll get him down at about the 17-yard line.
At their own 17-yard line.
Denver offense at the line, ready to go. Well, they look up at the scoreboard facing that deficit. A 3-score game, Charles, but look, there's plenty of time to go here. The old football cliche that comes to my mind is you can't get it all back at once. They probably need something, though, out of this drive, at least 3 points.
Are you trying to say that there's no 3-score drive on that play sheet for any of those coordinators? They just don't have it, right? You're trying to get it all back. You know you can't get it back in one drive, but maybe cut into it a little bit as you just suggested. Try and create a little bit of momentum, a little bit of a spark, and then maybe that'll carry over.
And for the 4th time tonight, it's an interception. Mike Edwards picks it off. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. Well, I mean, you get it. They're trying to make something happen here in this 3rd quarter, CD, but I don't think a pick 6 is exactly what they had in mind.
No, not at all, because this offense, they've been stuck all game long. Haven't dented the scoreboard yet, and they're kind of forced to take a few chances here, and that one, it backfired in a big way.
Extra point by Butker is on target, and the lead is now 24.
Broncos nothing.
So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6, and now the kick is away. From a yard or 2 deep, here comes a return. And in hindsight, probably should have taken a knee as he only gets this out to the 16-yard line.
At their own 16-yard line.
The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions.
So the line of scrimmage moves all the way across the 50 now as they come up 1st and 10. Throwing is Wilson. Flush to his right. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's 2nd down.
His impatience has to be bubbling over, trying to find a way to get his team to the end zone for the first time. He did find a way to break contain and get outside to buy his receivers a little extra time, but the connection couldn't be made on that throw.
Here's Wilson to throw. He'll let this go deep for Sutton. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be 3rd down.
But when the running game's not working, sometimes you just got to take a few more chances down the field. That's a good effort, but it winds up incomplete.
They go play action with Wilson. And oh my goodness, here's a 5th interception. Trent McDuffie with a pick. And the Chiefs will take over here just shy of the 30. Well, there's two sides to this coin. I mean, on one side, 5 interceptions now thrown for him. That's tough. But, man, this defense, they have been ball hawking and impressive. But, Charles, let's flip it back over. If you're coaching a quarterback that's struggling this much at this stage of the game, do you maybe try to get him out?
I would think about it, and I think about it awfully hard. But also, you might want to look into his eyes, see what he has. He might be one of those players that you don't want to affect his confidence by actually pulling him out of the game. So you have to know your player. You have to know the situation.
Pacheco gets it again on 2nd down.
And he'll be taken down right around the 34 after a pickup of only a yard.
He was brought down by Fabian Moreau. A gain of a yard brings up 3rd and 5.
Here is 3rd and 5.
Easy. Yellow.
Mahomes going to throw. And oh my goodness, here's a 5th interception. Picked off by Kareem Jackson. And the Broncos will have solid field position here as they take over at their 45-yard line.
At their own 45-yard line.
Denver offense at the line, ready to go. They'll start following the interception in great field position at the 45. After the interception, here's Wilson. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
You get the sense that they're saying we're not playing up to what we're capable of, and we're deep enough into the game that the early jitters are long gone, that they should now have some sense of continuity and be able to make some of these plays that they have not been doing so far.
Well, thanks for joining us here on a Thursday night in the NFL. 3rd quarter, 2nd and 10 coming up. Here's Wilson. Finding Sutton on the out route, who makes the catch. And he's brought down. A couple of veterans, Wilson to Sutton there for the Bronco first.
Well, we talk all the time about playing situational football, and right now I think the scoreboard is dictating what they need to do. Where they are in this game, they've got to push the ball downfield, take their shots, try and get big chunks of yardage in a short amount of time. That was a nice play there.
Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10. Wilson. And he slides and covers up at the end as he's going to be able to pick up decent yardage. The improv on the scramble there gets him 6, and it'll be 2nd down.
You know what I like about that play? He didn't try to do too much on 1st down. He took what the defense gave him, put together a solid gain to bring up 2nd and manageable. Now they have a couple of plays to pick up just a few yards and a new set of downs.
To throw is Wilson. Screen play set up for Williams. Touchdown, Broncos. Javonte Williams.
A 12-yard touchdown grab.
And the Broncos get a bit closer. So that, Charles, their first score of the ball game, obviously, coming here in the third quarter. Is that going to be enough to energize the troops?
It's a great question, and we'll wait to see the answer, but it's finally something for them to build on. Now they know that they can actually score against that defense.
They'll look to run for him with Williams. And he got it on the touchdown run, but he won't get in here. He'll be stopped short, and they'll come up empty on the try for 2. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off.
And this is going to be returned from the middle of the end zone. And the decision to come out of the end zone is going to cost him 5 yards as he's taken down right at the 20.
At their own 20-yard line.
The KC offense out of the huddle, ready for their next drive. And now you've got the clock winding down here in the third quarter. Your 3 scores to the good. What's your approach on this drive?
Too early to fully commit to playing the clock game. Yet at the same time, you're also not going pell-mell like you would in 2-minute offense. This is what NFL offenses call 4-minute football. Take the clock out of the game a little bit, wind it down, but at the same time, keep advancing the ball down the field.
And he got half of what he needed there, 2 yards, and it'll bring up a 3rd and 2 more. Here's Mahomes to throw.
He's got his target. That's complete.
And he's going to get this down to the 35-yard line. A big play there on the catch and run. 37 yards.
The timing was absolutely true as he caught it working across the field. Plenty of space for him to roam, but notice how he keeps his head on a swivel, looking for defenders who may crop up out of nowhere. That turned into a big play.
Meanwhile, Mahomes' throw here complete to Kelsey. And he'll work free from 1 tackle, but that's about all as he's taken down.
Not a big window to throw. Coverage wasn't too bad there.
Yeah, they had him under wraps pretty well, but somehow able to muscle his way open and catch the ball.
Now a 2nd and 6.
Moore, the man in motion.
Second down, McKinnon runs through the contact.
And they'll get this one to about the 20-yard line. And now they're in the hurry up. Operating from the red zone now, Mahomes.
He finds Moore in the end zone. Touchdown, Kansas City.
A great effort there. His first touchdown on the year.
And the Chiefs are able to extend their lead in the final seconds of this third quarter.
Butker on for the PAT. And they open the lead up now to 25 points.
Next to score, Chiefs 31, Broncos 6.
Here's the Chiefs kickoff unit now as they'll send this one away.
From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone.
And he will be taken down here on the return on what will wind up being the final play of this third quarter.
The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. This one certainly has not gone according to script. You would have thought on paper that this offense would have its way here, but they certainly have not, and they trail big. After this, it figures to be a quiet trip home.
Sometimes you get all those big guys down there in one spot, and there's just nowhere to go. And in this case, the defensive tackle used his strength and swallowed him up.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Off the play fake. Here's Wilson. He's going to look deep down the field. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there trying to take a shot, but it's third down.
Zone coverage there, and they were playing deep. That makes it obviously a little bit harder to run by guys. And that time, there was not much of a window to get the ball in there, and it winds up incomplete.
The Broncos on third down. A pretty woeful 0 for 5 thus far. This is 3rd and 11. Here's Wilson. Oh, this will be incomplete. The rush gets home just as he was letting that go. That could have been worse. Instead, it's 4th down.
That incompletion is not a surprise with the way that this one has gone, and the frustration of body language is evident everywhere. This team, they've really been put through the ringer in this one.
On 4th down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. Well, on that punt, we've got a man shaken up. We'll step aside and get an update when we return to Arrowhead. The Chiefs offense about set to begin this drive. But not that any of the points would be needed, but CD, they've got enough time left here. They can definitely score on this drive, maybe even an ensuing drive as well, if they really want to drive home this landslide victory.
Yeah, we're certainly about to see just how aggressive they want to be here down the stretch. And what some coaches do is they try and meet it halfway, meaning they want to continue to run their offense, but they'll put in a lot of backups to do it, and then tell the opposing coach, hey, I had to get them some work too. I can't just let them sit over on the sidelines all the time.
On 1st down, they go back to Pacheco. Runs over. 96 yards rushing now on 8 carries for him so far. No doubt those are the types of carries they're looking for here, Charles. The lead in the 4th quarter. This is when coaches that have a reliable running game, they breathe a little easier on the sideline.
Yeah, they love the idea that they can take the air out of the football at this point of the game. That means they're really counting on that offensive line, counting on the runners, taking care of the football. Because you're going to tell your quarterback, hey, no time to be a hero. We're not going to throw it here. Just eat up that clock. And if you have the ball, they can't score.
11 more yards that go around, a 1st down as well.
Well, that's a carry they have to be satisfied with. And throughout this game, they've been satisfied with what he's given them. Whenever they've needed a big run, a 1st down, he's the guy they've turned to. And it doesn't matter what the defense thinks. They feel like they've got the confidence to keep handing it to him and keep picking up good yardage.
On 1st and 10, here's Pacheco. And this will be a gain of 6 when it's all said and done. Down to the 15 from the 21.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where there'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
Here's Pacheco once again. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. Call that a loss of a yard, and things get a little more difficult here. 3rd and 5. Here's Pacheco headed right. And they'll lose yardage here. Knocked back to the 19-yard line. Not at all what they envisioned on 3rd down. 3 yards in the wrong direction.
A 36-yard attempt.
Butker's kick here is good. And that will extend their lead even further. So a nice kick there as they are able to add on to their lead.
And that's exactly what you're looking to do. Maneuver yourself into range. That way, if your drive stalls out, you're able to get something out of it. And they do so right there.
And he brings us out past the 20 to the 24.
The Broncos take over 1st and 10 at their own 24-yard line.
Denver offense at the line, ready to go. Where we stand right now in the fourth quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play.
And my goodness, another interception. Trent McDuffie with a pick. And the return here is stopped at the 35-yard line. Gosh, you add up last week and this week now. That's 9 interceptions in this two-game stretch, and we're not done here.
It's almost like they can't believe their eyes. Or maybe, partner, is the confidence level in him so high that they believe he'll get out of it and make plays for them to win a game.
Well, they've said they believe in him. That's being tested right here. Headed straight, it's Pacheco. And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it.
Well, praise has to go to the guys on the offensive line because they've had a very nice, productive day running the football. How about that poor defensive line? They've been knocked around the entire game, and while they slowed them down on that run, can they continue to do so? Because they haven't had much success throughout this ball game.
Now Mahomes throwing on second down. Looking for Tony on the out route, and he's got him. And inside the 20 before it's brought down. That goes for a Chiefs first down, 14 yards.
Well, partner, nothing but praise from me for this offense. They have been tremendous all night long. They knew what they had to do to unlock the defense. And let's face it, this has been a master class in offensive football that we've been here to witness.
So here's a 1st and 10 now, down inside the 20. Pacheco gets it up the gut.
And he'll get this down only to the 18.
Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
Well, that's not a run that's going to make any of the highlight tapes, but they've been moving it well all game on the ground. This is another one that keeps them moving forward.
Now 2nd and 9. Again, it's Pacheco.
And they'll get him down right around the 16.
They follow up the first down 1-yard run with a minimal gain of 2.
Let's give a lot of credit to the offensive line. They've been able to move the ball really well on the ground the entire game. And while that wasn't a huge one, that's okay. They'll take them in short, steady bursts.
3rd and short, McKinnon. And he'll maybe get back to the line of scrimmage, but no more than that.
No gain there on the play, and that's going to leave him with a 4th down.
A 33-yard attempt.
Butker's kick here is good. So he's been automatic to this point of the season, and he connects on the field goal there.
And what a luxury it is to have a kicker you can depend upon, partner, because he hasn't missed all year long. Converts on that one as well. And kudos to you. You didn't jinx him.
And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28.
Take over 1st and 10 at their own 28-yard line.
The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. Well, we said it at halftime that they would need a nearly perfect second half to erase that deficit that they were facing, CD. But unfortunately, the second half has pretty much been a carbon copy of the first.
Yeah, that early lead was almost insurmountable the way their opponent was playing. And, partner, they do have some good news, though. This one is getting close to being over, and they can try and hit the reset button starting tomorrow.
And a big loss here as he's taken down. One last shot for Wilson. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And this is dropped and incomplete. Well, there's a metaphor for how this one is gone. As time has run out on this ball game. So this one in the win column for
kick.